This is Brian, ScreenFiles.com in review. What I'm looking at today is 2019's Daniel Isn't Real, which for some reason I want to call Adam Isn't Here. In any case, Daniel Isn't Real was directed by Egypt Mortimer, which has got to be one of the best names ever. I would put Daniel Isn't Real in the psychopathic killer genre, but the thing is, it's kind of a subsection of that genre, in the sense that you have someone who has another identity imposed upon them. It's very much a popular genre, and there are tons of movies that are made in this fashion. Though for my money, there are four that are at the pinnacle. You have 1978's Magic, directed by David Attenborough. You have 1980's Dressed to Kill and Fade to Black. They both came out the same year. And you have 1999's Fight Club. Though I think you can add to that 2019's Daniel Isn't Real. Great movie. It revolves around this young person named Luke, who has been through a lot of trauma early in his life. And it manifests in another personality coming to the fore. Oh yes, I forgot to mention Sybil. Though, to be totally honest, I know that more by reputation. I'm not even sure I've seen the original movie. I believe it starred Sally Field. In any case, back to Daniel Isn't Real. And so, this young person begins to develop a secondary personality. A personality that's bold and decisive and frankly a little bit mean and cruel. But the thing is, early on he learns a strategy to imprison, for lack of a better term, this aspect of himself. But is it? This is where the movie really shines, because as it progresses, you get the feeling that maybe there's more to this entity than it being a psychological problem. This is fascinating. And the way the movie works is that we meet Luke's mother early on as well. And she has a disorder. She has, I want to say she's bipolar, but I don't know that for a fact. And I don't recall her condition being diagnosed in the movie, but only to say she's extremely unstable and she begins to fall apart. And Luke assumes that what's happening to him is because of his mother, which is to say her condition is hereditary. Though as the movie progresses, we begin to see that maybe that's not quite the full picture, and it's done so well. And what makes this movie work is that the imagery is so bizarre. It's very David Cronenbergian, for lack of a better term. And that weirdness of imagery really makes the movie. It deals primarily with the inner space, but its outward manifestation is just fascinating to watch. It stars Patrick Schwarzenegger, who I've not looked up on IMDb. Reason being, when the movie starts, we meet Luke, who is a bit of a nebbish. He's a smart guy, but he feels very withdrawn and uncomfortable in the company of most people. I don't know if that person is actually Patrick Schwarzenegger, because Luke's alter ego is introduced later in the movie. Though the thing is, I don't know if the protagonist in the movie is actually Arnold Schwarzenegger's son. Because, as I said, I deliberately didn't look him up. And another character is introduced, the alter ego, if you will. And I think that guy is Patrick Schwarzenegger. If only because, I hate to say it, he's not as good an actor as the person who plays Luke. And his performance comes off very Patrick Bateman-ish, which is to say the character that Christian Bale plays in American Psycho. Everyone does well, and the performance of Luke's alter ego is fine, though as I implied, it comes off very caricaturish. It's not bad by any stretch. It's not great either. It's kind of cliche, to be totally honest. And so, in my own mind at least, it makes sense to me that he, the person who played the alter ego, is Patrick Schwarzenegger. Not the greatest actor, though I think he's better than his father, at any rate. So that's all a roundabout way of saying Daniel Isn't Real is a great movie. It was produced by Spectravision, which is the company Elijah Wood works with, and they tend to embrace movies of a very weird, very horror-adjacent aesthetic, and Daniel Isn't Real is no different, though this movie is remarkable. And as I said earlier, I put this in a company of Magic, of Dress to Kill, of Fight Club, of Fade to Black, and I think you'll agree. Though, to know that, I have to see what you think. So consider a comment or a like down below. This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Review. Peace.